Welcome everybody to Peep Game TV and Keeping It Real Team Collaboration. I'm one of your hosts, Shadi Ali, aka SRD, with my man Jay Sean, aka Mr. F Love.
Hey,
What's
hey.
going on with you today, brother?
Hey, I'm ready. Fridays be hectic.
I
It's
could dig it.
it's like
I
the
could
whole.
dig it. Let's give them our you know the new theme song.
Okay, hit them with it.
I'm having a wonderful day. It's my life we live, it's a blessing for me. Today the dreams will be on me. Cause I'm having a wonderful day. Hey, hey. I'm having a wonderful day. It's my life we live, it's a blessing for me. Today the dreams will be on me. Cause I'm having a wonderful day. Hey, hey. I wake.
Just a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Let them know, we having a wonderful day and hope they having a wonderful day on this Friday, April 11th. Hope you all are having a good day. Any day we're above ground is a good day.
Right, right about
Uh,
that.
yeah. So, what's been going on with you this week, brother? What kind of stuff you got for the people, man? You got anything you want to share with the people?
I've been this week been. You know how sometimes when a week is coming up and you got a lot of things that you want to do, and before you know, you look up and the week is gone. you know
Absolutely.
that been happening to me for about 2 or 3 weeks now. It's like things I got to do. I'm doing things that I have to do. To survive and everything. And maintain, reach my goals and my limit. But it's also things that I need to do that I just can't find time to do. And I'm sure everybody have that problem day to day in life. It's like Jamal Hall used to always say, "It ain't enough hours in the day."
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah, and when that happens to you, you that means you got something going on. You got some
Yeah.
things going on. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Because if you don't have anything going on, the day's gonna move slow.
Yep.
But if you got some things that you plan on doing and stuff structured, the day go quick. Before I know it, my day is over too.
Yeah. That's how it is. What's going on with you? How was your week though?
My week was pretty productive. I've been holding back till I got kind of close to finishing up.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm kind of close to finishing up, so I'm doing the announcement about the book that is coming out.
Oh, okay. Tell us about it.
The book is the title of it is SRD in the 17th Ave family. Basically, I talk about my life. I mean, those of you who want to know something about me, read the book. You'll learn a lot of things that you didn't know about me. Things you'll probably be surprised, and things you may even be amazed by. My journey to get to where I'm at now, and that is also about the 17th Ave family, about uh, a brotherhood that was built with individuals such as yourself, you know,
Mm-hmm.
known each other for over 40 years easily. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that. And I talk about a lot of that stuff in the book. So it should be coming out very shortly. And be on the lookout because I'm going to be promoting some of it. You'll hear a chapter or two before the book even drop. So
That's
you'll
what's
get
up.
an idea of basically what I'm talking about in the book.
Right. That's
I
what's up.
think it's interesting. I hope it's interesting to all of you. And those of you who are on the site, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and follow if you haven't followed on whatever site you're on. Go ahead, brother.
That's deep because this week I was talking to somebody, and I think they was trying to be maybe sarcastic or something about somebody I was talking about or something like that, and they was saying like, well, that's your friend, and I was like, you don't know my friends. You know what I mean? I said my friends I knew since I was before I even was a teenager. You know, my real friends, I got friends that I accumulated along my journey and along my life. Of course, I have met people in my 20s and my 30s and 40s and stuff like that. But when you really want to go to the root and to the foundation, I mean, me as well as you, um, we got we and a lot of people admire this. I don't know if I ever told you, but people probably told you that too. A lot of people admire um our friendships that we had because we got friendships that we had with people since we was what 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We could get
Absolutely.
we could get together right now and fill up a room of people that we all knew each other since like before 13. You know what I mean?
Right.
And and I mean real friends, you know what I mean? Like not fake and all stuff like that. Some of them might be doing better than others, but basically lifelong friends, what I'm saying in a nutshell. So I was telling somebody like you don't really know my friends, just you might know some people I'm acquainted with or something like that, but you don't really know. I really got true friends, you know what I mean? And well, that's the way I feel about it, and
Eh,
I'm sure they feel the same too.
yeah, well, that's where the 17th Ave family, because it, we built a brotherhood. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? We fought together, got high together, chased chicks together, all types of things, cried together, all kinds of different journeys
Yep.
that bonded us. These
Mhm.
different things that we went through together bonded us
Yep.
so that we cannot see each other for a long period of time. But when we do see each other, it's like we been seeing each other every day.
Yep.
That's the beauty about building a brotherhood.
Yeah, that's real. That's the real of that. That's the real love. That's important too. And today, um, where you see so many people at odds with each other, and so many people jealous and envy. You know what I mean of each other. Fake friends. People who smile in your face and talk behind your back. You know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a lot. It's a lot of that go on. And me personally, I don't really think none of us was like that because we all was go getters in our own place, in our own way. Some of us might have started off slower than the others because maybe they wanted to stay in the streets a little bit longer. Some maybe took other paths, but I think we all from our fam brotherhood, what we talking about 17th Ave, I think we all had a determined idea to make it in this world. You know what I mean? And we could just call off names and everybody would be doing everybody but maybe what less than one hand we could count just not doing something productive. But so you got to figure out of us, um all of us from 17th Ave, I would say that I say more than 95%. I say about 97% of us is doing productive things. What you think?
yeah, yeah. I can agree. LB, what's up? He one of them. You know what I'm saying?
Who
From the
that?
Ave, Larry Brown.
Oh,
He
Larry.
did.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
he doing his cooking thing. He had put something up that he was getting ready to do a food truck or something. I tried to get up with him. He ain't hit me back. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Hit me back, brother. And humble on here. Humble
Humble
on
Williams.
Facebook.
Humble
Yeah,
Williams. Oh, okay.
yeah.
Who that job brother Larry?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, okay. What's good, Larry?
yeah. Yeah, I think you're about right. I mean, it's the majority of us are doing, quite well, have made the transition
Mm-hmm.
from one lifestyle to another,
Yep.
and we are now. The thing is, that gives me a segue to a question that I want to ask you.
Okay.
Now, what is one thing that you believe that we need to work on or change as a people?
One thing that we need to work on or change as a people.
Right,
My main thing I would say is first is family strengthening. We got I got brothers and sisters, you got brothers and sisters, and no matter how tight a knit a family is, like you might say, oh, me and my brothers and sisters is tight. I might say me and my brothers and sisters is tight. I always feel like it's more room, you know, for more strengthening, because you might say, well, no, I'm cool with my brothers and sisters. I might say I'm cool with my brother. I'm cool with my sister. We talk every day. We see each other
right.
every week in church. But it's the little things that's not happening, you know what I mean, that should be strengthening more. You know what I mean? Like the little things that we don't really talk about, because I just feel like that family structure need to be tight. It gotta be. And I'm not talking about family wives and girlfriends, and I'm talking about the family, the brothers, and I really believe that brothers and sisters should be tight knit, because when you got brothers and sisters, you got your street brothers and your street sisters, but when you got
Right, right.
your brothers and your sisters and y'all all really tight, that's a um that's a recipe for success. It's a good thing, because so many people don't have it.
I agree.
Family
I
structure.
agree. I agree. So basically, what you're saying, that no matter how close you and your family are,
Mhm.
there's room for improvement. That's
Right,
basically what you're saying.
right.
And I agree. And a perfect example of close knit family, I like to say, is the Wayans brothers.
Oh yeah.
So, because that's what more families need to be doing. We say that that's a recipe for disaster, but they've proven it wrong. They've proven it's not a recipe for disaster.
What that
It's a
what?
recipe for success as far as working together, doing business
Oh yeah,
together,
yeah, yeah,
things of
yeah,
that nature.
yeah, yeah.
We often say that oh man, don't do business with your family because it's gonna be nah. They didn't prove that to the contrary. You can do business with your family. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, I'm big on that family, because they built the whole thing, but you really got to dig deep into that. Since we talking about it, you
Right. Go
really got
ahead.
to dig deep down into that family. That family they was in the projects. Marlon, the lighter one, Marlon.
The yeah, the youngest
The
one.
skinny one, yeah.
Yeah, the young. I believe he the youngest brother.
Yeah, okay, yeah. He wanted to go to like a fame school. They call it, like, I'm saying fame, when you're doing all that
Yeah,
dancing,
yeah, yeah.
but it was
Like
acting and dancing. Now
right.
his father was a Jehovah Witness.
Oh, okay.
His father told him, "You not going to that," because his father was homophobic. So his
Mm,
father told him, "You not going to that school." His oldest brother Damon told his father he going to that school, and it ain't nothing you could do about it, because your way of thinking and the way you are is not gonna hamper this man's future, and that's how he wound up going to the acting school and
So it's
moved around.
Damon or the other one, the oldest one.
Well, I don't know
Damon
which
is
one.
next to the oldest.
Well, it might have been Damon. Might have been the oldest one. I don't. One
Okay,
of them
one of
two
them, one of the between the two of them.
stepped to the father and told him, "No, he going to that school, and it ain't nothing you gonna do about it. You're not gonna stop his future because of your way
Because
of
of
thinking.
right.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Uh, uh, uh. Somebody should have told my mama that.
Hey, hey, yeah, well, you know that's another story, man. I didn't even I didn't even get into all of that. With the I briefly touched on it a little bit with the book about my mom choosing my religion for me.
Right. Now I'm
You know
not.
what
I'm
I
just
mean?
saying. All of us
Yeah,
went through that with our
yeah,
parents.
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah. However, yours was a bit more. What's the word I want to use?
Mine was a bit more
Strenuous,
strange.
and
Yeah.
more strenuous and
Mentally.
stringent. You know
Mentally.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So because there were certain things that we were allowed to do that you weren't, and
Right.
you got the chance to be around us, seeing us do these things,
Yeah.
and you weren't allowed to do it.
Right.
So to some degree, it made you feel like an outcast.
Yeah. I grew up like that. You know, what I mean,
Yeah,
you in school. I grew up a Jehovah Witness. A lot everybody should know it, but you in school and everybody salute the flag. You can't salute the flag. I mean, now that you older,
right,
you might be able to make some sense because you be like, forget about that flag. You know what I mean? Because we
right, right,
understand now
right.
that
Yeah,
we
yeah,
understand
yeah.
that that's their
Because
flag.
I didn't like saluting the flag anyway. It had nothing to do with religion.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like now we could break it down and understand that it's an American flag. That's their flag. But when you're
Right.
young and everybody doing it and you're not doing it, it's different. It's like everybody looking at you. So
Yeah, yeah,
it's a
yeah,
bit
yeah.
different.
And it's very bad being the oddball when you're a child. You
Oh,
know what
when
I'm
you a
saying?
child,
That's
please.
yeah. It's a hard thing to be the oddball, and children around you are looking at you differently, and you don't even know how to deal with that emotion of being different or
Mm.
feeling different.
Yeah, you don't. Not at that age.
Right, right.
Not
Yeah,
at that age at all. You don't really know. But then the older you get, and then once you figure things out, you say everything that happened to you in your life, it helps you now today. It made you a better person. Somewhat. You know what I mean? Because you've been through certain things that other people haven't went through. Some people went through bad ass whippings. Some people went through
I got some of them.
some people went through drug addict parents.
Right.
Some people I went through a cult, a Jehovah Witness religion. I call it a cult. So we all. I don't think none of us just had a perfect a perfect
Upbringing.
upbringing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
upbringing. Yeah, I think no matter how much of a good parent you think you are, your children were different.
Right.
You know what I mean? Your children would say, "Nah, you could have did this, you could have did that." So I mean, that's just what it is. That's somewhat human nature. That
Hmm.
whatever is done, we could see it being done better.
Right.
So
It ain't
you
no
know,
rule book. It's no rule book for being a
hey,
parent.
what's up? What's up, Ramona?
Hey, Ramona.
Ramona
It's no
Norman.
rule. Norman, Ramona, Norman. You got
Yeah.
two first names.
Mm. Yeah.
But it's no recipe for being a parent. So
No, no, because each child is different.
yeah,
So you do what you believe is right for the child. That's all you could do.
yeah, that's all you could do. You can't do no, and you can't do more. But but anyway, back to what you were saying. What I started to say before about you said that you was writing a book, and I'm like, look at the path that chose. You know what I mean? You know, because I have wrote books,
Right,
and
right.
I as well as you, I got a book coming out that I wrote. I believe it's coming out the first week in June. I believe that's the date. Me and my cousin, well, my cousin set the date. He said he's gonna try
Okay.
to make it for the first week in June. I'm writing my cousin Craig Redmond's life story. Uh, our grandmothers are sisters, so we real cousins. It's called Everything Don't Happen in the Hood because he from Patterson, like we based in Patterson, and he was assaulted in a white suburban town by a white man and had his eye knocked out. So I wrote his story and it's called Everything Bad Don't Happen in the Hood. So
Oh, okay.
that as well should become, so we both gonna have books coming out um summer 25.
Yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely.
so that's a good thing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
a good thing.
yeah, yeah. So and it took me a minute, man, to actually get prepared to even write the book. You
Right,
know what I mean? Because it was things that I had to come to grips to be comfortable telling.
right.
When you first wrote your book, I wasn't comfortable enough to write the things that I put in this book.
Yeah.
Now I'm to a point where I'm comfortable enough to share those parts of my life.
Hey, shoot, look,
And it comes when it comes.
it
Hey,
come,
what's up, Miss Clark?
it
How you
come.
doing?
I put stuff in my book that I would never tell the world, like but I knew I had to put it in the book in order to make the book authentic, and what they call it, non-fictional, and
Right.
authentic. I had to do it, and I knew that from the audience that I was trying to reach, that the truth would go further than lies or fabricated truth. So I just was like, yo, I'm gonna tell the truth. You know what I mean, and try to be more as truthful as I could be. you know, and that's what I
Yeah.
did.
It's funny that you say that because I tell our story when we met. I go into our story when we met in fourth grade. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of go into some of the details.
Mm.
So, for people to read that and you know listen to or visualize what we were doing at 9 years old, I'm waiting to see what the response going to be.
Now they probably won't believe it though, because it's almost unbelievable. They probably
Yeah,
won't believe it. I was thinking about that the other day. One week we was out here and we was talking about something and then he was like, oh, because when we was young, like at first before me, you was telling me that before me, like you was saying like, oh, you was scared of girls, and I was thinking in my mind, and I was saying I was thinking of this time when uh she lived up the street from me.
Rhonda,
No, Pam, up the street, going across the street from Yao,
Pam,
across the street from
short
Yao.
Pam,
No, what was their name?
Pam Wilson.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, all
she
right,
passed
Pam
away,
Wilson.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
rest in power. Yeah,
rest in peace. But I remember one time when uh, I guess I liked her, or she liked me, or something like that. But we we walking home from school 20 and stuff, and I don't know if if she was gonna kiss or something. I don't know what was gonna happen, but I ran I ran in my house And
You
I
ran
remember,
away?
yeah, I ran all the way up to the third floor. I was paranoid, man.
So what grade was that? Third
Huh?
grade? What grade was that when you did
It was
that?
young. It was one of them young grades. We was in fifth, sixth, fourth, something. I don't know. I, she was big.
Yeah. She had height. She had height and yeah,
Yeah,
and body. Yeah.
yeah, yep. Rest in
Yeah.
peace, Pam. Yep. But yeah, I was scared.
Well, I would imagine it was before the fourth grade because by then, man, you know,
I
I
don't
had
think
brought you
so.
on. I had brought you on in.
No, you ain't get me. No, well, them people we was dealing with, they wasn't nothing compared. That was the B league. She, but yeah, I remember that. I think I was scared, like scared the kid. I don't know what happened. I just know I ran in my house, like nah, I was scared, man.
Yeah, yeah. Now I got another question for you.
All right.
Now, what is the one thing that you dislike most about black women that either you dated or you met?
Um, attitude. I don't like. I don't like the attitude, the aggressiveness, the the lack of respect. Sometimes it just seemed like a lot of women that I have met in my life. Well, the ones that I met that I didn't agree with, a lot of attitude, a lot of aggression, a lot of luggage. So
So, well, I mean, all right. So when you say attitude, what do you like? Elaborate a little bit more with attitude. Do is it the way they talk? The tone they use, the words they use.
the tone,
what do you mean?
the tone, choice of words, um, the, um, the toughness. Um, the, so basically that's it. I mean, it ain't too much that I don't like about them, other than that. The attitude. The attitude is number one on my list. I
And I
can't
think,
I can't take it.
black women would say that their attitude is warranted.
Of course
Hey,
they
what's
would.
up, Nisi?
Of course they would.
They would say it's warranted based on what we as men have taken them through, the things that they've put up with us, and now they're in protection mode. Not and then add on top of that, how they're perceived in American society to some degree, you know. And I'm not saying that women sometimes are don't go overboard. I'm not saying that they don't. However, there's a lot of things that we as men, because I know for myself, I've done things that I'm not proud of that may have caused women. Well, I know some of it have caused women to be aggressive to the next guy, to be kind of nasty to the next guy.
Well, I got a question for you when you finish. Go ahead.
You know, nah, go ahead, give me the question.
If that's true, then um, I have known white women. I have known Hispanic women. Um, this in the age range where we talking about 40s and 50s, and and if you meet them, they don't have the same aggression. So you don't you don't think they've been through the same problems growing up with men?
Um, I think unless they dealt with, black men, aka Moors, they probably didn't deal with some of the same type of stuff. Because remember, we already start off at a disadvantage. First of all, we go to school and we don't have, or let's say this, we have limited history of what we are about as a people. White people don't have that. White people have a history, a full history of them creating things, them owning things. So just that part alone changes the dynamics of how we see ourselves. And if I see myself as less than, then guess what? I'm going to probably look at you as less than too. Or if I have anger towards myself, then I'm going to have anger towards you too. And I think that's some of the dynamics that makes it different from other ethnicities when it comes to us and them. What we deal with as a people being just black. I mean, it is, first of all, it's like being black. If you Irish, you come from Ireland. Being black, where did you come from? We say Africa. But
Yeah.
if I was hearing that, I think you spoke about Ghana, where they were letting black people come and move over there.
Uh huh.
Now I'm hearing that the Africans are not too happy because now that American people, African Americans, black, has gone over there, the prices are increasing.
Hmm.
So now they're being at a disadvantage. Now they're having like, hey, you coming over here, you causing our prices to go up. You causing us a hardship.
True.
So we say we African, and now Africa ain't too cool with us.
Yeah.
So we are we got that baggage, and I was speaking to Joaquin about it today. I was like, no other people in this country has to deal with what we have to deal with. Like people be complaining now that they don't want to have Black history in the schools. Who else got to go through that? Who else got to go through? They don't want to have their history, and there's already limited history in the schools. No other people got to go through that. And go ahead.
So you said the attitude is warranted.
To some degree, I think is warranted. I think it's, and I don't know if it's something that they need to do, or is it something that, based on the conditions that they've been placed on, it basically like kind of forced out of them. It's kind of forced out of them. And, because we as men don't, we are not always kind and calm either. You know what I'm saying? Because
Hmm.
we can be aggressive as well. I know I've been aggressive on many occasions verbally,
Right.
So if we're coming at them aggressive, they're going to try to defend themselves. And, based on, what we learned when we was 5%ers, that we have the ability to change the situation. You know what I'm saying? If we're the sun, they're the moon. The sun dominates all day. Even when you don't see the sun is still shining. how much shining do we do on the women? How much enlightenment do we give the women? Like, I think so many individuals, when I say that, I say men, are coming to women for sex rather than coming to women to enlighten them or to bring something to the table to enhance them. Imagine you've been with five guys and all five of them took something from
Mm-hmm.
you. You know what I'm saying? Something different, you know? One took your virginity, one took your self respect, one took your dignity. You know what I mean? And nobody's adding to you. Nobody's giving you anything. They just depleting you.
Mm.
And that's so eventually you're gonna get angry. You're
Yeah.
gonna feel in pain. That pain gonna turn to anger. You're gonna lash out.
Yeah.
That's just my view of it.
No, I agree with you 1,000%. But you asked me what my
Right.
problem
Yeah.
was when
Yeah.
before
No,
I said,
no. And basically what you said, I would say 60% of the men feel that same way.
yeah.
However, for me, it's like, okay, when you have some type of situation or attitude or personality, we have to. For me, I like to think, what caused the person to be that way?
Mm.
You know, if you got a person that's hardly ever want to talk, what makes this person want to be quiet? If you got a person that curses all the time, what makes this person want to curse all the time? So I like to try to get to the root of why. You know what I mean? Why a person do what they do. You know,
Man,
because
man,
that's the only way I think we can kind of start resolving some of our issues. Go
you,
ahead.
you better start having a woman's only show next week.
Hey, what's up? What's up, Sonya?
A woman's only seminar. Woman's find out find out what's the root of all that aggression.
Hey, well, ladies, y'all on there. Let me know if I'm right or wrong. You know, let me know what it is that you know cause women sometimes to be overly aggressive, or what we say sometimes we say mean. Because
Mean.
remember, women were black women. I like to say Moroccan women,
Mm,
Moorish women were labeled as mean women.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? So, and who came up with that? Who placed that label on the women to say that they were mean?
Me. I did. I did. Me. Me, myself.
Hey, you weren't the only one. Hey, what's up, Sonya? Yeah, you weren't the only one. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, I've heard quite a few people. I mean, I've heard mean or the
Yeah.
angry black woman,
Angry. Yeah, that's
the
another
angry
one.
black woman.
Me
That they,
and that
you know what I mean, mean and angry.
and all and all jokes aside, on a serious note, that just do the knowledge on that what we just came up with. You just said that the words when we talk about black or Moroccan or more women,
Right,
angry, mean, um, aggressive. Now it might be women to say I'm wrong, or it might say for you said it was from men taking and not uplifting them and not
right,
building.
right. Not giving. If you got a bunch of takers, I mean,
Somebody might, like you said, somebody might have took their virginity, somebody took their self-respect, somebody took their kindness and all that away.
right,
And I think going back to when we was 5%ers, I remember it was a plus lesson where they said that um a man has to constantly build his woman every day. You gotta like I'm saying that because what you said, nobody adding on, but
Right,
the
right.
the 5% lesson said that you gotta constantly build the woman every day. I agree with that. You know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Because
Instead of destroying them.
right, and that was the thing: build or destroy. If you're gonna destroy something, you destroy something that is unhealthy
Hmm.
within them, and give them something healthy. And remember, it was we used to say we had to give them that other half, that knowledge, wisdom. We had 7.5 ounces of brain cells, so we had to give them that other half.
Right.
You know what I mean? And we saw them as the equality. So we give them that half and they become the equality and knowledge wisdom.
Yeah, because somebody came up with this. Somebody said once about a time that it was a. I don't know. I don't agree with it now, but I have read it before where they say the women's 100% weak and wicked. That's why they have to be constantly build every day. Now, I don't really agree with that weak and wicked stuff, but I'm sure they probably meant something else in another way. But
I th- yeah, I think what they meant, and pardon me, I think what they meant is if when a woman gets weak, she can become wicked.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know what I'm saying? So if you don't give her strength and she don't have strength, she becomes wicked. She becomes mean,
Yeah,
angry because she's weak. She needs some strength.
yeah. Because
So
a lot
I
of time they say the woman is the reflection of the man. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
So
The remember the woman is the one that raised the children.
right,
If you corrupt remember, we can raise a child, but the women raise the nation.
right,
So if the woman is messed up, then the nation gets messed up.
right.
So our thing has been after, and I was writing about this in the book about as 5%ers, we had more respect for the women.
Mm-hmm.
We protected the women and we protected the children. Somehow after that, we kind of backed up a little bit. We haven't been protecting the women. And protecting the women is not just protecting them from other people, it's also protecting them from us, from our stuff, the stuff that we bring to them, the
Yeah,
pain that we cause, those type of things, the insecurities that we bring, you
yeah, that's
know.
true. Yeah,
So it's just those type of things that as men and how the environment that we grew up in, we very rarely saw that type of, like, okay, this is how you treat the woman. This
yeah,
is this is what you don't do. This is what you do. It wasn't that way. So at some point, it's necessary for us to start enlightening the young brothers on how to treat the women so that the women will be stronger and wiser.
that was it. That's the next thing. What I was gonna say. I was gonna say when you said it most of the time the woman's reaction is from having maybe a lot of men that wasn't good to her. So it's almost like a generational curse.
Right.
So if our great grandfathers, and then our grandfathers, and then our fathers, and then us, what I mean, like how do we change it? You know what I mean? If we didn't teach our sons, which we should have, then they got to teach their sons. So that it's like a never ending. It's like a never ending curse or something like that. You know what I mean? It's gonna continue to happen until somewhere along the line, everybody get knowledge of self, or everybody just want to do better, or make, or we come together and then just say, well, we want to make our women better. You know what I mean? We want to stop neglecting them. We want to stop killing their spirits, killing their motivation, and killing their love, taking away from their love and stuff like that. If not, it's just gonna keep breeding. It's just gonna keep breeding the same thing, breeding hate and tone and anger, and me. It's gonna keep breeding because that's been going on a long
Right. Like, hey, what's up, Mark? Like, think about what Tupac said.
time.
We hate the ladies that make the babies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
that's yeah,
if right, so if we having hatred or anger and pain, you know, we showing that towards the women, then of course the young brother's gonna say, okay, that's what I saw my father do, that's what I'm gonna do.
I'm
Now there's
guilty.
a
I'm
right,
guilty.
right. We all are. We
I'm
all are guilty.
guilty. Yeah, I'm
We
guilty.
all are guilty to a certain extent. Now there's another part to it as well. When you was talking about family,
Hmm.
there's another part to the dynamic of family that with women that I didn't mention. Some women are in pain based on not having relationships with their father or
Right.
having negative relationships with their fathers. But I think that both the mother and father are extremely important, especially because the father, he gives the structure, the mother gives the nurturing. But also, what the father does is show the daughter what type of man she should be looking for. And I believe the mother does the same. Like my mom used to say to me, I'm going to make you a man amongst men.
Right.
You know what I mean? So her aspirations was to make me a better man for a woman. You know what I
Mm.
mean?
Right.
Something like I believe, and I took it as the type of man that she wanted for herself. She was going to do her best to try to make me into that man.
Mm.
So if women worked on that, it'll start changing. And if men took the same thing with their daughters,
Yeah.
tried to have their daughters be the type of woman that they would have liked for the next man, a good wife, a good husband. You know what I'm saying? I think that's where we fall short because that's where we have our greatest influence with our
Mm.
children.
Right.
So if we miss that boat, which many of us do and many of us have, me included, you know what I'm saying? Because I missed a lot of my daughters' lives.
Right.
You know, they're older now and I missed their early part of their lives. So now it's like I missed the opportunity to be able to do that.
Right.
Now, what I can do, and I started doing with my granddaughter because I got in her life early enough, and with my great granddaughters, start to implement that. Be the type of man that I would like for them to aspire to look for.
Right.
You know,
Yeah. A lot of problems too become in people looking for people that's not like them too, in relationships, because some a lot of times you wind up with people that's opposite of you, and then you want to change them, and you can't change a person. A person got to change themselves.
absolutely,
A lot of
absolutely.
a lot of times, think about this. Um, Sometimes you might see a woman, right, and she might be fat, but she don't want a fat man. You know, uh, she might don't got no teeth. but she want a man with nice teeth, right?
Right.
She might be a liar, but she don't want to. She ain't gonna. She ain't going looking for no another liar. You know what I mean? She might. She might don't have a house, but she want a man that got a house. She might don't got a car, but she want a man that got a car. I just think if people started getting together with more people that was compatible with them, then relationships, you know, will go further. Because even though they say opposites attract, I know that, but I just think that. I mean, I went a little bit too deep, but I just think that if people dated when they if they tried to find people more within their realm, you know what I mean, I believe the relationships would go further, because then you could if you want a house and you meet a guy that want his goals to have a house, and your goals to have a house, I believe that if you and them get together, you could build toward that. You know, if you got the same goals and she got the same goals, and a lot of times y'all can build toward that. But a lot of times, with miscommunication, the woman might have one idea of, okay, let's say, of how to raise the kids. The man might have one idea how to raise the kids. The woman might have one idea of structure. He might have a different one. He might want a house. She might want a house. He might just be happy with an apartment. So somewhere down the line, that's gonna cause turmoil. That's gonna cause problems, and then I guess that's when the anger comes in, and that's when the aggression comes in, and that's when and all the other negative things come in. I just think people should get together more within their own means, and maybe relationships would be better, or life would be better.
No, that's those are great points. Those are great points because I think compatibility at this point,
Right.
and this is my view, this is how I feel, is more important than love.
Yeah.
Why do I say that? Because I've been around people who loved each other
Right.
but wasn't good for each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you got compatibility, as you said, now you got things that you both want to aspire to that connects you. And if you start off with that, I always say you can build on the love.
Mm-hmm.
Now the love will now, and I think the love will be more concrete
Yep.
because it's not based on superficial stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on mutual respect, mutual admiration, and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah, so I definitely agree with you that that's something that needs to be more upfront.
Right.
See, the whole thing, and I'm not against love. I'm not like what you say, Mr. F love, but I think love needs to be put in its proper perspective. And
Right.
because it's not, that's why it's not working out the way people perceive it to work out.
Yeah. That's true. I think in the time we living in now, people don't get married for love no more. Like um a man, like, it was a time when, like, we all looked for pretty girls, light skinned girls, girls with long hair. Men, I don't really think now, the time we living in now, it's not stereotype. Men, they people not marrying for love. Like, men don't marry pretty. You know what men looking for? Men want to marry behavior. They looking for, they looking for how a woman acts at home or how a woman acts abroad. They looking for what a woman got, you know, not so much in the bedroom, but what she got up here. I just don't know. Um, it's a miscommunication somewhere that's keeping the divorce rate so high. Because the divorce rate is high. It got to be a breakdown somewhere that it's a reason that the divorce rate is so high. Well, I'm saying that because, like you just said, I don't believe in love, but everybody still believe in love.
Right.
And if everybody's still believing in love and everything, why is the divorce rate so high? If everybody's still believing in love and got love, why is there so much cheating going on in the world? Uh, if everybody, if love is so real, then if love is so real, I should be able to ask you right now. We well of age, past 50 and 60 and all that. I don't say numbers, but we way up there. But if love is so real, right? You should be able to show me. You should be able to tell me right now five married couples that you know are in love and making it. But I bet you could tell me more that's not. You probably could tell me five that's not to every one that is. So what happened to the love in this world?
Hey, what's up, cuz? My cousin Cedric said, "Tell you what's up.
Oh,
What's
what's
going
up,
on?"
Cedric? What's up, Ced?
Yeah. Well, we basically kind of touched on it when we were saying, see, if love starts off for most people with an emotion,
Right,
you feel this certain thing, and you say it's love.
right,
Now, that emotion sometimes come from what you said, those superficial things, the way a person look, the way a
right,
person is in bed, the things a person do for you. Okay, now when you get married, all those things that these people used to do prior to marriage,
right.
they don't do anymore. That's what happens. The more the years go by, the less is being done. So love is a flower. It needs to be watered. So it needs to be kept up. That means
Is that
you,
possible?
yeah, it's possible. Of course, it's possible. It's the thing is, are people willing to do what it takes?
Are
That's
people
the
are
that's the
people
part.
are people
Willing?
the loving so if the people that's in love, they it's a no brainer. Then they should already be willing to do it if they loving each other.
Oh, now the thing is this: there's some things you're willing to do, and then there's other things you're capable of doing.
Right,
So, what if you're willing and you're incapable?
right,
You know what I mean? For example, let's say a person wants to cook but don't know how to cook.
right.
So, what they gonna do? They gonna mess up. They gonna try,
They're gonna
but it's
try.
not gonna come out good.
Right.
That happens, I believe, in relationships. You know what I mean? People try, but because it's not something innately in them, they're not fulfilling the other person because it's not something that's in them naturally. They got to try to create it. They got to try to work on it, and it comes across different. If it's something you naturally do, it's easy. It's easy to do, but if it's something you got to try to work on, now you got to take practice. Some people, if you got true love, you may be willing to wait. However, now it's like, okay, when you get our age, you're like, okay, do I have the patience? Do I have the patience to wait now?
Right.
You know what I mean? Or not? And then same thing with younger people. Do they have the patience to wait for the person to become that person that they need and give them that love that they're looking for and that they need? And most times, no. Most times people ain't got the patience. They bounce.
True love. That's what you just said.
And yes, you know, Sonia said you can learn how to cook. Absolutely. Yeah, you can learn. And that's why I'm saying, while people learning, do people have the patience to wait for them to learn how to love them? Because that's what ends up happening. Because when you meet a person, it seems like they know how to love you. Some years go by, now it's like they done forgot how to love you. So now, and it's not so much that they forgot. It's just now what you used to need to be loved with changed. How you want to be loved changed. It's not the same as what it was before. So how you want to be loved changed. So now they would have to adjust to that change.
Hey,
So that's it for us tonight, brother. Let the people know what you're getting ready to do. That's our night, man. You know,
I'm getting ready. I'm gonna go on Facebook Live and my TikTok page in about 15 minutes. I always take a break after this show. I'll go on my TikTok page at jshawn763, and then I'll go on my Facebook Live in about 15 minutes. What I forgot to tell you, I meant to talk to you about it, but I guess we could talk about it next week. But I'll just put it out there. Barry White, when Barry White died in 2003, right?
right,
He was with a woman for 20 years, but he was married in 1982.
right,
He never got a divorce. So when he died in 2003, his wife took he had $20 million. He was worth 20 million. He left.
right.
His wife took the whole 20 million. The lady he was with for 20 years, she didn't get nothing. She tried to, but she didn't. Barry White wife told his girlfriend he was living with that the house her and Barry White was in, she could stay in that house, but that's all she getting. And the house is still gonna be in Barry White wife's name, but his girlfriend that he was with for the last 20 years can stay in that house. So I just wanted to know what was people's thoughts on that. You
Yeah,
know,
let's say that for next week. Let's say that for next week because I
I
got
meant
some
to
thoughts,
bring.
but I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, we'll start it off next
Cedric,
week with that.
yeah, Cedric, that's why we said, because Cedric ended up saying, if you have to learn how to love, then that means it's not natural. That's what we were saying, that a lot of times people are trying to do it and it's not coming out right because it's not something that is naturally who they are.
Right.
So they learn it. And that was the reason why I said, are people patient enough to wait for them to learn? Because if it's not natural, you got to wait till they learn how to love you. So there you go. But Sonia,
And
Cedric, Margie, Michi,
Ramona,
Ramona, uh,
uh,
who else was it?
who had
Who else?
CH, Dawn, CH,
I'm forgetting somebody. Michi, who else? If I forgot you, I apologize. Charge it to my mind, not to my heart. You know what I mean? I didn't mean to forget you, but thank all of you for watching. We appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you all next week.
Good show. Good show.
All right. So with that, we leave
Very.
you all with peace.
All right. Peace. See y'all in 15 minutes.